Earnestly podcast coming to you on May 18th, 2022. How you guys doing? Another day, another hot, sunny day in South Florida. God, it's May already. It's only May, and it's freaking steaming in here. Anyway, this podcast, subscribe on all podcast catchers, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, you name it. Also, Earnestly Media on YouTube. Check it out. On the way to hopefully 100 subscribers by the end of this month. Please, if you haven't subscribed to Earnestly Media, please do so on YouTube. Please do so. Lots of great content there, especially too. Lots of content, videos, clips of the shows, all that, you name it. Want to kind of get through this show really quick today, to be honest with you. First things first, last night, Game 1, Celtics, Heat win it by 11. Can we start here real quick and just say, okay, I'm having this debate for a little while about top 10 players and that. Jimmy Butler is a top 10 player. Okay, whether or not you agree or disagree, but he's a top 10 player. We may not like the way he plays basketball. It may not be flashy enough and all that. But what is factual, what the numbers say, numbers don't lie, and the production doesn't lie, is that Jimmy Butler is a top 10 player. And here's why. Because last night, another game where he scores 41 points, and again, as a Heat fan who watches these games normally anyway, I don't know how the hell he fell to 41 points. Honestly, I don't know how he did it. And again, this is the guy that elevates his game when it's time. He elevates his game in the playoffs. He's averaging 7 more points a game in the postseason. For all the talk about Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic being great, and by the way, they are been tremendous in his playoffs. You realize that Jimmy Butler averages more points than both those guys right now in the playoffs? You realize that? So, Jimmy Butler, top 10 player. Heat win Game 1. By the way, this is going to be a long series. I see a lot of my fellow Heat fans and friends and stuff getting braggadocious and cocky about this. Relax. It's going to be a long freaking series. This is going to go 7 games. I still got Heat in 7. Don't forget, too, the Celtics played without Marcus Smart and Al Horford last night. So, let's also keep that in mind, when evaluating this series. Tonight, of course, is Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA. It's Mavericks and Warriors. Obviously, the conversation right now is about Luka Doncic, and about where he stands. About top 10, top 5, all that. Has Luka Doncic now officially entered the best player in the world conversation? It is definitely a conversation, and it's fluid, and it depends on how things end up. Between now and, say, wherever the season ends, whether it's this round, they go to the finals, or they win the finals, or whatever. But he's definitely a conversation. I mean, Luka Doncic right now, to me, is a top 3 player in the league right now. We're starting to see what we're seeing now. And remember, you guys, in this podcast, let's do this last year or so. My theme was the fact that you can consider 7 guys to be the best player in basketball, and it wouldn't sound foolish. That was the narrative last year at this time. Okay? And then Giannis won this run. Giannis won the title last year. And Giannis grabbed the brass ring. And Giannis, in my opinion, has been the best player in basketball for last year. I think Giannis is still the best player in basketball today. Okay? But what you're seeing now is separation. What you're seeing now is that, okay, so it's Giannis definitely in that top 1, 2, 3 tier. Luka Doncic now in that top 1, 2, 3 tier. Okay? And you can argue who else will be in that conversation there. Maybe Jokic, maybe Embiid, I don't know. But those 2 guys definitely in that tier. Okay, you're starting to see a little bit of separation. Jason Tatum's coming, especially 2, top 7, 6, whatever you want to call it. But yes, he has entered the conversation of best player in the world conversation, definitely. Who's under more pressure right now? Steph Curry or Luka Doncic? You can say Luka, obviously, because you can't guarantee he'll be back in this spot again in the future. But to me, it's Steph Curry. Because if Steph Curry wins the title this year, wins the series, wins the championship this year, and Steph Curry wins the NBA Finals MVP, that starts the separation between him and Kevin Durant. And that, at that point, will be 4 rings of Curry. And at that point, you start talking about Curry possibly entering the top 10 all-time conversation. So, to me, Steph Curry has more pressure than Luka Doncic right now entering in this series. As for the series itself, I did say I had Warriors in 5 on yesterday's podcast. Tonight's prediction, I have Warriors winning tonight, game 1 prediction. So we'll see what happens there. I'm looking forward to tonight's game. I can't wait for that game to go off. What else do we have here? Patrick Beverley has been making the rounds to ESPN the last 3 days. he has been. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions of Patrick Beverley and what he has been saying and whatnot, and players are getting upset about what he's saying and calling out Chris Paul, calling out all these guys and whatnot, defending James Harden. Here's the bottom line about Patrick Beverley, though, and this is what I love about Patrick Beverley. He's authentic. You know, you may not agree with what he says, but you know what? But you know what? I'm going to defend his right to say it. And guess what? I'm okay with him saying what he's saying. And I think he's probably the next media star coming up. You know, he kind of reminds me of what, remember last year when Kwame Brown started coming out and started talking about things and, you know, blasting Charles Barkley, no, not Charles Barkley, but blasting, you know, guys like, you know, Stephen A. Smith, whatever. Patrick Beverley is kind of in that same ilk in a sense. Not less political, of course, though. But I do like Pat Bev. I think Pat Bev has been, you know, is someone I think I can really enjoy his work, his podcast work. Obviously, I like his authenticity. You know, he's definitely very edgy in a way. And I think he's done very well on these runs he's been doing here on ESPN the last 3 days. I've been looking forward to him talking, you know, listen to him talk on First Take and Get Up and all these other shows. He's been fantastic. So he has a future in the media business. I think he's the next media star to come going forward. LeBron James did a little Q&A on Twitter this week, basically asking people to ask random questions. Someone asked him a question about who are the 4 greatest dunkers that he believes in the history of the game. He had Dominique Wilkins, Vince Carter. He also had Zach LaVine, and then he put himself in there. You know, omitting Michael Jordan, of course. And you know, LeBron, I don't know, trolling, I don't know. But first off, forget the fact he didn't have Jordan on there. I don't know why you put him on a list, considering the fact considering the fact that he did not actually compete in any stand-up competition at any point in his career. You know. And I defended the fact his right not to do it, of course. But how are you going to put yourself in that conversation when you never even competed in the damn thing itself? I mean, that makes no sense. Now, I don't know if he's trolling if he means that, but it's a bad look, in my opinion. Bad look by LeBron posting that, whatever. But, you know, it is what it is. Matt Harvey suspended 60 games for distributing oxycodone. First off, I did not know Matt Harvey was still in Major League Baseball. I was not aware of that. To me, Matt Harvey fell off once he got traded from the Mets in, what was it, 2017, 2016? I'm surprised he's still playing baseball, honestly. So, Matt Harvey suspended 60 games. That suspended started really in April 29th. So, he'll be back over the summer. What else got here? The XFL will be airing on Disney and ESPN, well, ESPN and any of the Disney networks going forward. You know, USFL just started a couple weeks ago. I'm not into it, and I haven't seen any buzz about USFL at all. What I do think is going to happen, though, I think XFL has seen the landscape, and I think they're going to pounce on this next year. And the fact they got the better TV deal comparison to USFL this year, and which I don't even know what station they're on, to be honest with you. And then also the AF when they launched in 2019. I think, look, I'm not. You know, I was wrong about spring football. I was wrong that I thought that there was a market for spring football. Clearly, there is not much of a market, in my opinion. But I do think the XFL has a good chance here to make things relatively decent here, because I think having that platform, having a Disney platform, having ESPN, ABC, I think placement will actually give them a fighting chance to really do well here. So I think XFL will actually have a chance. I'm not saying it's going to last 2-3 years. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, because I still think spring football, given what we've seen in the last couple of things, USFL is not really, in my opinion. I mean, I know they're doing well. I know what their benchmark is, because I haven't seen anything. Like, I heard they started a couple weeks ago, and I heard nothing about USFL ever since then. So we'll see where that goes, obviously. But I think that's just something that's not really I think spring football is not a thing, really, to be honest with you. Today, we remember Chris Cornell, who passed away 5 years ago. Unfortunately, Chris Cornell, obviously legendary singer, lead frontman of Soundgarden, Audio Slave, you name it, passed away 5 years ago. I remember where I was when I found out. I was actually awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, and the news came through on Twitter that he was found dead in his hotel room. And then later on, of course, we found out he committed suicide. Chris Cornell, to me, again, I've been saying it for years. I'll say it again. One of my 5 favorite vocalists in the history of music. I would definitely say top 5 or 10 greatest rock vocalists, in history of the genre. Fantastic. I love Soundgarden. Grew up on Soundgarden. I love some of the audio slave stuff, of course. Chris Cornell is definitely unique, and his voice is unique, of course, too. So again, 5 years later, remembering Chris Cornell as he passed away 5 years ago. Yesterday, I watched the She-Hulk trailer, which is for the new series that's going to be on Disney Plus in August 17th, actually. In fact, looks pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to watching that show. I haven't really been a big fan of all the stuff they've done on Disney so far in terms of the shows. I love. I was good on WandaVision. I actually loved Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't watch Loki. Didn't really get into it. Really, to be honest with you. The other show, that Moonlight, I haven't watched yet. I'll probably watch it at some point now. But I watching the trailer for She-Hulk. Honestly, I'm kind of excited about it. I think I'm gonna enjoy that one. We'll see what happens there. Finally, before I go, like I said, we're gonna try to keep these things between 10 to 15 minutes an episode, of course. The Mexican pizza has returned to Taco Bell. Now, I am not the biggest Taco Bell fan in the world. I'll get it once in a while. I'll get number 7 quesadilla with a hard shell taco and cherry Coke. But I actually started getting into Mexican pizza actually in recent years. So, well, I know a lot of folks I talk to who love Taco Bell. I know my wife loves Taco Bell. She was a fan of Mexican pizza. Was really upset when they decided to pull it from their menu. Well, they're back this week. I think Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow is going to be the first drop of Mexican pizza. So yeah, Mexican pizza return to Taco Bell. You should be pretty excited about that if you're a Taco Bell fan, of course. So anyway, that is it for me. I want to keep it short and sweet. I know it's a lot of stuff to touch on that. I want to keep it short and pretty. Again, I'm on Twitter at EJ Christian 7, Earnestly Podcast, Earnestly Media, on YouTube, of course, to all that. And we will talk soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, like I said, enjoy the another great sports night. Hockey playoffs, NBA playoffs, baseball, you name it. So a lot going on. So until then, love you guys. Take care and see ya.